What up, what up, what up, what up, world? You already know what time it is. Your boy Matt Miz, the host with the most to be need to brag, no boast, all I do is give a toast to the real folks who done paved the way in a real way for us players to play. And yeah, man, I have to bring y'all another one, man. I have to bestow the gift of gaming to y'all about this one. Dr. Umar's Breakfast Club interview. Now that shit was some. It was it was something to watch, man, because you know he's getting a lot more popularity, and which you should, But I just feel like it's a little bit too much. Like they bolstered him up into a caricature, like okay, they asked him about his memes. How do you feel like his meme going up? You know what I'm saying? His meme going viral and all that. Dr. Umar this, Dr. Umar that. When I see him, he was responding. He was saying he understands that it brings people closer to what he's saying, but it distorts the message as well, because people don't take it as serious, which is a way of looking at it. If you ain't deep enough to see all he's trying to portray, you're gonna look at it a certain way, like Dr. Umar's. I was trying to get over on the people, But what he was breaking down as a school psychologist, how they diagnose black children way more than anybody else. And he's trying to find ways to deter certain diagnoses so the kids don't get drugs, which could be harmful later on in their adult years, which makes sense, as a clinical school psychologist. But for him to say he was a doctor, I don't know where the doctor status comes in. I could understand and I could commend his outlook, on certain scenarios in the school system, because I think the school system will go under the realm of education, and it's just a white supremacy. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, they're going to teach your kids, misdiagnose your children as having learning disabilities or whatnot. Certain behavioral problems, and the first thing they look at is, should we give him or her drugs to suppress this behavior, instead of finding alternative ways for them to better cope with whatever they're dealing with. That's why rich white folks go to therapy, right? Because they understand the ramifications of not having resources cope with the pain, so you go to therapy before you take certain drugs that are just gonna numb you and have you in a trance, so to speak. So, putting all of that into perspective, you see why certain things are hindered, and why Dr. Umar is needed. You know what I'm saying? Like he really he's doing stuff for the community as as far as advocating for parents, kids that need special needs. That's very commendable. You know what I'm saying? I gotta tip my hat to him. You know, I mean, as far as him saying the repairs for the school takes 3 weeks and it's only 3 weeks away. I mean, he's been getting donations for like the last 10 years, so I don't think that you should look at people to donate more money or time into something that wasn't stipulated in the plans from the jump, so to speak. So it becomes like, oh, I put this plan into play. I know what I'm getting myself into, but now that the plan ain't working like it should, I'm stuck on, damn, there's some shoulda, coulda, woulda, shit. You know? So I gotta go back to the people that I was asking for before without giving them nothing and saying, if you're a licensed uh, plumber or whatnot, this, that, and the third, I would like you to come and do the plumbing, the electricity, everything on the school. I mean, for sure, there's some type of deal you could work out. You say you would buy the equipment, but it's the labor that costs. So you're saying you only have money for equipment for your school, but it's the labor that costs. So what about when you need to buy excess uh, school supplies, chalk, uh, paint, all types of other stuff that you need for your curriculum? Like what? How are you gonna break that down? How do you gonna like surmise that part of the plan? You know, how are you gonna get donations for that, or is that a part of the budget that you already have? You know, so I mean, to say that you're 3 weeks away from opening a school, you just need a free labor, and they'll handle it, and you'll handle all the the equipment and all that. It's kind of asinine, you know. It's like I feel like you didn't think things through when you bought the building, like because you bought two buildings, knowing that you would have to renovate all the three of these things, you know. And since they're fairly new, you should be able to receive some type of government subvention, a grant or something like that, in order to get you catapulted into opening your school, because the school is something that can help the district or wherever that area that you are opening the school in. If it's a residential area, school is always a plus. It adds to the overall well-being and living conditions of that area. So it adds to the quality of life, so to speak. So Umar. I mean, on that aspect, I can't really judge to say. Maybe he's telling the truth, maybe not. I ain't really judging on that aspect. I'm just looking at it like what the people really thought about it.
Naked bodies all the time.
And I'm looking at the situation with him and DJ Envy was going at it about should that Ma'Khia Bryant should she have been shot 5 times? And I'm looking at it like, there's a lot of questions behind that, but the fact of the matter is they weren't doing that in a white neighborhood, opening fire right away, especially if it involves a knife fight, I seen the police stab at a dude, lunging at the police, and not get harmed, nothing. But the moment that we make a gesture that we're gonna do something or something like that, we get shot up. That's not procedure. That's protocol. You know what I'm saying? They want to shoot us. That ain't like, oh, okay, I'm shooting to apprehend the suspect. No, they shooting to kill. So let me go ahead and listen to this.
Because white people in America have historically insisted. Hey, if I give you automated dropshipping business right now.
I want to just go ahead and listen to a little bit of what Umar is saying, and then we could debate it if it has any validity to it or not. I want to go where DJ Envy starts arguing with Dr. Umar about the shooting.
Does she get shot at all by that same cop?
One never even comes out. I would hope so. She's aggressive.
Okay.
Like a sign of
Mass murders has to pay for his mistakes. Make the police pay and charge themselves. We don't even. Why hasn't the Congressional Black Caucus demanded that Joe Biden issue an executive order against police genocide of black people like he did for the transgenders and the Asians? Why are our black elected officials sitting there quiet on Capitol Hill watching our people get assassinated like this when they're right down the street from the president? And I'll tell you why. They're Democrats. And when you're a registered Democrat, you're part of a team. You're part of a club. And you can't go too hard because we will lose middle of the road Republicans and conservative Democrats in the midterm elections. So all those blacks and the CBC got to be quiet, shut up, swallow their pain, and deal with it, because you cannot rock the boat or you will mess up the whole Democratic agenda. That's why I do not vote for black people who are registered as Democrats or Republicans. I only vote for independent candidates, because if you are not an independent candidate, you don't have an independent program, you are not an independent thinker, and you ain't going to bring us no independent freedom. The Democrats are a waste of time. If the Congressional Black Caucus can't make Joe Biden do anything for black people, then they need to dissolve themselves. We don't even need them anymore. They're useless.
Do you believe there's any policy or legislation that will stop police executions of black people? Like, you think, like, if they implement the George Floyd Policing Act, will it stop
I have to look closer at that act but my suspicions are it doesn't really have any teeth in it. Because when I look at the act that Nancy Pelosi introduced, the police reform bill, right around the time that the George Floyd riots kicked off, it didn't have no teeth in it. First and foremost, the unjustified murder of a black person by a police officer should automatically be charged as a hate crime. Number one, it is a hate crime. These police killing us are committing hate crimes, and nobody is treating them like hate crimes. So the first change in the legislation is that it all has to be treated as a hate crime. Second change in the legislation.
You see, that's a bad faith argument because you can't say every shooting involving the police is a hate crime if it's a black person, because the police, by definition, are not supposed to promote hate. So you would have to basically prove that it's a hate crime. How are you going to prove that? Because a black person's dead? And they're legislated to protect and serve. Mandated to enforce policy. So good luck with that one. You know, there's certain things that you could go on and say, we need, that makes sense, man. It's a hate crime. That means every white person that kills a black person, is that a hate crime? You know? Where are we going to draw the line? So we can't say it's a hate crime. What we can say is we want the race soldiers punished and brought to justice. Because to prove it's a hate crime would prove racism. You know? Once you prove racism, then it all becomes unfolded. The veil of white supremacy is lifted. So to say that it's a hate crime is to say that the whole system is racist. And they're not going to go for that in a million years. You know what I'm saying? So just keep it all the way on it.
Legislation is the payouts. The civil suit payouts come from the police officer's pension, and it comes from the police union, and it comes from the fraternal order of the police. Make them pay, because you can't tell me that you're going to make black taxpayers pay, you understand, for the criminal behavior of police. How am I getting a victory if I'm the one who has to pay for his mistakes? Make the police pay and charge every murder as a hate crime, and I guarantee you they'll think twice before they start killing black folks.
In the George Floyd Policing Act, that's what they want to do. They want to get rid of qualified immunity. Because if you get rid of qualified immunity, then that's exactly what will happen.
Exactly. You need to get rid of qualified immunity and stop making police think that their lives are more important than black folks. Look at the situation with the sister who got shot 5 times.
Now let's talk about that. Ma'Khia Bryant in Ohio.
Ma'Khia Bryant.
Yeah.
They're claiming, and she the one who called the police. They're claiming that the police had a right to shoot her. Even coons, Negroes are running around saying, well, she had a knife. So that justifies her being killed? Because I work in school, Charlemagne. I have seen lunchroom aides with no police training, no bulletproof vests, no nightproof vests, no gun in their pocket. I have seen elderly black women and elderly black men take knives and other weapons out of the hands of students during lunchroom riots. So you mean to tell me that a 60, 70-year-old man can disarm a teenager in a lunchroom, but a trained armed police with a bulletproof vest can't get a knife out of the hand of a 16-year-old, but yet and still you have white males who are conducting mass murders all across this country almost every other week. We're getting a mass murder in America, and almost every one of these fully armed, fully violent, murderous white men were apprehended by the police without being shot and without losing their life. So explain to me how a white man with an AK-47 can be taken without a police officer firing a bullet after he done murdered 6, 7, 8 people, but a 16-year-old girl with a butter knife cannot be apprehended without a bullet being shot. That is nonsense. They killed her because they knew they would get away with it.
Now, I'm not gonna lie, I must be a coon because I don't agree with you on this one, and I'm gonna tell you why.
I agree with you.
And he said, I must be a coon. I don't agree with you on this one. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm trying to play devil's advocate. You know exactly what he's saying is true. But you just want to be the light-skinned nigga in the room talking all that bullshit. If it was my daughter, yo, shoot her. So you're saying if your daughter was getting rushed by a bunch of people, it came to your home, she's been getting rushed, and she just flipped out and said, fuck it, I'm gonna grab a knife and stab this bitch. And the police is just waiting outside. Or should have shot your daughter? Think about it. Could go both ways, man. You're gonna reverse it and flip it. I'm gonna say, oh, if that was my daughter, almost be a stab. I would hope the police shoot her up 5 times. Where they do that at? And you gonna act like you know what I'm saying? You doing something for the people? Come on, Envy. You know goddamn well that you just wanted to play devil's advocate, and I could understand that. But quit the cooning, man. It just don't look good on you. At this point, you got to be past that. Different, whole nother level of retribution, you know? You always have to have a coon in the way. And then after all, they do want to ask him about, oh, you like interracial dating. Like from one extreme to the next. You know?
I do agree with you. Those people that walk around with them assault rifles and those white boys that they run around that don't get shot, they should get shot immediately. You come out with a gun, should lay your ass down. Not even a question asked.
Yes.
But this situation, my only thing is this. When the police pulled up, now you're talking to somebody whose father's a retired cop, right?
Yes, sir.
When that cop pulled up, he doesn't know friend or foe. He doesn't know who called the police, right?
Okay.
He does not know. It wasn't like a sign that said, hey, I called the police.
Understood.
They got a call, hey, I'm getting jumped. Somebody has a weapon, right?
Okay.
Comes out that car. He puts his hand out. First thing he says is, you see that girl running towards the other girl with the knife up,
Okay.
right? Police can use deadly weapon to two things: to defend themselves and defend another person.
Okay.
He fired his firearm, stopping that girl from getting shot. Now, people could say 4 times, 5 times was a lot. That was a lot of shots. You can take that any which way you want, yes. But his whole thing was to disarm that girl. And at first, I was upset. Why the fuck they shooting that woman? But then I had to sit back and say, let's say that was my daughter sitting on the back of that car and somebody was coming at her aggressively with a knife. She wasn't defending herself. It wasn't like she was defending. She was coming aggressively for that other girl.
Well, she was defending herself, though. I mean, you can't do that. Right, I mean, they jumped her before and they came to her house.
But
That was her property.
But at this point right here, I'm telling you what the cop seen. The cop didn't see the fight.
Okay.
The cop only seen was the girl being aggressive to the other girl. That's all he seen.
Okay.
So at that point, if I'm the father and that's my daughter, I would want to make sure my daughter didn't get stabbed.
Okay.
And that was the only reason I said I understand why that cop did that.
But she shouldn't be dead. 4 times is excessive. There was other ways I think that cop could have intervened without killing that girl.
But that goes into training. Cops are trained to kill.
But let me give you a follow-up, Envy. Let me ask you a question. If you are the police,
correct.
DJ Envy is the police officer. You get out the car. You saw the exact same set of circumstances. Do you shoot her 5 times? Why or why not?
I am not going to shoot her 5 times.
Why?
Honestly?
Yes.
Because this is my community and I know what happens in the community. I understand the fight.
In other words, you value her life.
Right. But I'm going to tell you why. And And this is going
And
to be a
he
little
took her
different. too.
life
I'ma
because
tell
he
you why.
did not value it.
Right.
Let me
I
ask
look
you
at-
another question, Envy. If she was a white girl with that same knife, does she get shot 5 times?
If I'm a police officer,
That white, if that, well, not you, with the white, going back to the white officer,
it's-
if the
but see,
girl with the
this is the
knife was
thing.
a white girl and that was a white neighborhood, does she get shot at all by that
No,
same cop?
gun never
I would
even comes
hope
out.
so. I would hope so. If she's
No,
aggressive,
I didn't ask you what you hope. I didn't ask you what you hope. Does
I mean, I
that
don't
same
know. I'm
white
not a
cop
psychic.
You know
shoot
it
a white
wouldn't,
girl
Envy.
with a knife?
I don't know. I'm not a psychic. I would
Envy,
hope
you
so.
know it. You know she wouldn't.
Envy, you
I would-
know she wouldn't have got shot if she was
I
white.
would hope so. If anybody is aggressively going at somebody with a knife, I would hope that they
Envy.
get shot.
How many yo? They got a video of a white guy stabbing a cop in the neck. The cop goes, "I'm stabbed in the neck." He pulls out his gun, chases the guy, stops in the middle of the chase to pull out his taser to tase the white guy.
Absolutely.
Come
The
on.
point that I'm trying to make,
that guy
Envy,
immediately too.
and you said it yourself, Envy. You said they're trained where they can shoot. They're not required to shoot. In other words, police are expected to exercise discretion like any other professional. He made a decision. And when you look at the video, I didn't hear him say stop. I didn't hear him say drop it. If I'm not
He
mistaken.
did do that. He did do that.
He did?
Yeah, he did.
Because I didn't see it or
He
hear it.
did.
But even
He
if
did.
he
And
did,
she said, I'm gonna stab the fuck out of you. So, like I'm saying,
so
in
why
that
you ain't
case-
shoot her in the leg?
In that case, you're right, but they're not trained to do that. Like it seems something. It's a bigger
If she
than
was
just
white,
that officer.
she would not have been
I'm
shot
looking
at
at
all. So you can't blame it on the
No.
training, Envy. This was racism.
I posted a video yesterday.
This was racism.
I posted a
But if
video
he
yesterday
didn't-
of a
but
white
let me ask
man.
the question: if she didn't shoot her,
Uh-huh.
and that girl would have stabbed that girl and killed that girl, what would everybody would have said? The cop didn't do anything.
I'm going to argue that it would have been impossible for her to kill the girl because the police, who are athletically fit, could have engaged her in less than 5 seconds.
He could have tackled her. He could have tased her. Hit her with
tased
rubber
her,
bullets.
Rubber bullet.
She would have been stabbed by this. She was already emotional. She would've been
No,
stabbed by
man.
it.
She
No,
already
nah,
she
Envy,
knocked
nah,
down knocked down one girl before she got to the girl in the pink. Cop was right there the whole time. So the cop watched her knock down one girl and then go to the next girl in the pink. He could have intervened anytime between that.
But I'll give you another one. What about the 17-year-old brother in the Knoxville high school bathroom? Did you see that video?
Yeah, Anthony Thompson Jr. I haven't watched the video
All
yet.
4 or 5 police was in the stall with him. You know how small a stall is. Now, first of all, I got an issue with his girlfriend's white mother.
In a bathroom stall. Look, girlfriend, white mother called the police and said, "This guy carried around a 9mm."
And I said white mother, yes, because when she called the police, she told the police that he carries a 9mm handgun.
Mhm.
So she's prepping the police to already see him as an
Absolutely.
armed and dangerous emotional black male. Why did you tell them he had a 9mm? Why was it necessary for the white mother to tell the white police that her daughter's black boyfriend carries a 9? So the police are
wanted him to get
already
in trouble,
primed.
or she wanted him dead because she wanted him in trouble, or she wanted him dead.
Thank you, Envy. So we agree on that. Now, dealing with the police in the stall, Envy, and we never saw the gun. So I don't know if that was a gun in his waist or not, because we never saw it. But if you got 4 police up on a brother, he's a short brother, skinny little dude. You mean to tell me y'all can't grab his hands and arrest him? You mean to tell me he had to die in the bathroom with 4 police gripping him up and holding him down? They took his life because they wanted to.
I've heard that
These are executions.
I heard the cop actually shot himself. The cop actually shot himself by accident, and all the other cops thought that the kid
Which
was
speaks
shooting.
to how close they were in
Yeah.
proximity.
Yeah.
If he was white, does he die? No. So the point that we're making is not that these situations aren't tense. It's not that they're not dangerous. It's not that the police are not stressed out. We're saying because white people in America have historically and systemically devalued black life, it has created a context where it is justifiable for police to kill black people even when we are innocent. That's the point that we're making.
Yeah, fatal force is always the option when it comes to black people.
Always the option.
I posted a video yesterday. A white guy has a knife. He's in front of the cop. He says, "You're about to die." He's swinging the knife at the cop and everything. The cop never once reaches
But
for his
take it
gun.
to another level. Look at the Capitol riots.
Oh yeah,
Was that January 6th?
January 6th.
A
Yeah.
whole mob overran the governmental complex of the most powerful white government in the world. And the police almost did nothing at all. You had 5 deaths related to the situation, but they were mostly accidental. They overran, they looted offices, they was hanging off of the building, and then in the aftermath of the whole thing, you saw elected white politicians defending it. They said it was their constitutional right to show up and do what they did. If black folks had done the same thing, we'd have been mowed down like dogs. And check this out. Check this out. They overran the Capitol because they lost an election. We are out here losing our lives every day unjustifiably to the police. What if we would have overran the Capitol for Breonna Taylor? What if we would have overran the Capitol for Sandra Bland or Tamir Rice? What they would have done, they would have killed us. And speaking of Tamir Rice, his mother is asking President Biden to reopen her son's investigation. Joe Biden has not responded yet. You know what he's doing? The same thing Obama did for black people. Not a damn thing.
Let me ask you a question. Last time you came up here, you got a lot of flack. And I'm just curious.
Over what? What was it? What was it over? What is
your opinions changed? You were saying that you feel that black men shouldn't, or black women shouldn't date outside of their race.
Did you not hear the Anthony Thompson Jr. situation?
Thank you. I was going to go back to that, Envy. Anthony Thompson Jr. is dead because now his girlfriend was mixed race, so she was African, but the mother was white. He's dead because his girlfriend had a white mother. Dating outside your race is dangerous. If you don't believe me, look at Deshaun Watson down in Houston, Texas. Most of those massage girls were white, and we all know he didn't do it. The reason Deshaun Jackson is being lynched is because he wanted to leave for Houston, Texas. And so the white power structure of Houston said, this Negro is not going to march into our city and think he leaves when he wants. We just had James Harden pull this same nonsense with the Houston Rockets. We are not going to let Deshaun Jackson pull it with the Houston Texans. And they're going to destroy that man's career because he wanted to walk out. The massage parlor talking about something. I came back into the room and he was totally naked. Aren't you a masseuse? Don't you touch naked bodies all the time? Isn't that part of your job? I never heard you say he raped you. I never heard you say he forcibly done something to you. Oh, he bumped me, or he moved my hand over. Excuse me? That doesn't raise to the level of a crime. And if you notice, he ain't been charged yet. Where are the charges at? 22 women, no charges? Because the man ain't guilty. They're trying to Bill Cosby to Deshaun Jackson because the new racism, Charlemagne, and the new racism, DJ Envy, is to make the victim look like a perpetrator. So white supremacy in the 21st century wears a disguise known as feminism. And white supremacy in the 21st century wears a disguise known as LBGTism. And white supremacy in the 21st century wears a disguise known as multiculturalism. Whenever we want to destroy a black man, if we want to get Charlemagne, if we want to get Envy, if we want to get Dr. Umar, we're not going to give him with the traditional frontal white man assault, just outright destroy him, because that's not politically accurate. We're going to find something DJ Envy said about gays or transgenders from 20 years ago. We're going to pull that up and use that to lynch him. Or we're going to find something Charlemagne said about the anti-Asian hate propaganda and pull that up. We're going to find something Dr. Umar said about women 50 years ago and pull that up. They are lynching black males publicly, an all-out war on black masculinity, and they're using feminism, multiculturalism, and LBGTism to do it. Deshaun Watson is innocent.
Can you believe Brett Favre had the nerve to say that he doesn't believe Derek Chauvin intentionally killed George Floyd?
What Brett Favre really said is, I don't give a damn whether black people are getting killed by police or not. That's what he really said. I don't care if the police are killing you or not. I don't want to be bothered with it. When I turn on the game, I want to watch the game. I don't want to be reading nobody's tweets. I don't want to be hearing no comments. I am a privileged white man in Mississippi. I'm a privileged white man in Mississippi, and my privilege allows me to not have to deal with the ramifications of police killing black people. Brett Favre ain't nothing but another old-fashioned, traditional, white, racist Mississippian.
Yeah, he actually said that a few weeks ago. I forgot what show it was, but he said he doesn't want to hear any politics or social commentary during sports.
And then he turned around and said he don't think Derek Chauvin did that on purpose.
Exactly.
And then you got all the black commentators on TV. They want to say the truth. They were, and I see Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharp. They want to say that he's just a racist. He understood, but they can't say that because that'll mess with their job. So they had to say, well, Brett Favre don't understand because he never lived as a black man. You don't have to have lived as a black man. You know what's happening. White people have been doing this to black people for 4 centuries. Brett Favre knows exactly what's happening, but he does not care. And that's why black parents need to stop letting their black sons wear these white football player and white basketball players' jerseys until you know who they are and what they stand for. I can remember all the black men growing up who wore Brett Favre jerseys, and now they're learning what Brett Favre really think about black people. Stop putting white names on the backs of black children.
Straight up, man. That's why I fucked with Aaron Rodgers, because he advocates for black causes, you know what I'm saying? Everything up in Africa and all that, Shout out to him, And he wants out of the Green Bay. He's like, yo, I'm tired of y'all motherfucking cheesehead. You know what I'm saying? Racist ass motherfuckers. Y'all don't even care fuck about no black folks. So I hope he goes to the Browns and starts to kill it, you know what I'm saying? Aaron Rodgers with the Browns. There's some nice wide receivers. It's a good look. But all I gotta say is this. Umar, I love your message. I love your message, bro. One thing you gotta understand though. It's way deeper than just saying about black folks ain't doing, Naomi Osaka is just a young girl playing tennis. She should advocate for Haitian people. And she gotta get this money too, It's like you should be opening that school, but you got to get this money first, right? You gotta make sure your finances are straight first, right? So there's a lot of different dynamics when it comes to that. And I get it, what you're saying is truth when it comes to the police killing us. Black folk. And it should be taken out of police pensions and all that. Well, damn well they're not gonna say no police killings are a hate crime. Directly charge as a hate crime, because then it's like should become very convoluted after that. So what we're gonna do is we gotta find a way to make it so that we're actually making strides in countering the system of racism, In order to do that, we can't be like I'm pro-black, but I need money for this and I need money for that, and black folks ain't helping out as much. Black folks ain't got the money to help out as much, you know what I'm saying? So now when we go to the white folks for the money, we should be preaching the same thing. We got a program, and we need y'all to help us out with this endeavor. Have you ever went to the white folks and ask for a donation, Umar? And if not, then you're not really about this kind of racist logic, you know? It's more like I'm the black court jester type shit, you know? Because they got money too, man, and they will give up some cash, you know what I'm saying? And they will help you out, you know? If your real agenda is about ending the system of white supremacy, replacing it with a system of justice, all that extra radical. We need to charge these killings as a hate crime. First of all, let's just get some convictions first. The proper amount of years to go with the crime they committed. You know what I'm saying? And then we'll deal if it's a hate crime or not after. You know? But that's what it is, man. You know, like there's a lot to unpack. But Dr. Umar, a smart guy, and I think he'll get it. You know what I'm saying? I think he'll start to understand that you need, you want something done, you gotta do it yourself, man. You know what I'm saying? If you taking donations from the people, you gotta give them something, you know, package something for them, you know. You see, Tariq gave us 5 DVDs, you know. That's why Tariq is still doing his thing, because he's actually giving out product. So what Umar is doing, he's doing books, which is good, I understand, you know. But if you really want to get to the psychology of this young black folk, you gotta talk to the young black folk. You gotta be around the young black folk. You gotta bring it out of the young black folk. You gotta give us a curriculum to stimulate the brains of the young black folk that you're trying to save, you know? Like, what's gonna be a part of your curriculum? How are you gonna turn these black schools into beacons of counter-racist? How are you gonna make it a counter-racist curriculum? Like, what are you gonna teach that's gonna be different from the regular public schools in terms of empowerment and the betterment of our society as a whole? These are all questions that need to be answered. Not the regular. Well, Dr. Umar, what do you think about these shootings? And Dr. Umar, what do you think about interracial dating? And do you think this celebrity should be represented? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what are you doing as yourself? Forget everybody else. Because you're damn sure more qualified to speak on black issues than them as you're portraying yourself. So why should we want to listen? Why should we want to chastise anybody else when you should be the catalyst for handling any type of injustice you see that's committed against black folks? Like, you know, the police is killing these black folks all over the country. Start your own rally to help these people, to advocate for something, you know. But he does speak about it, which is a good thing, you know. Could always speak on it, you know. If you're a Pan-Africanist, you're a revolutionary. You know what that means. Have a military mindset. And always stay alive. Word to the wise. Keep it real in the field. Forget how they feel. It's your boy Matt Missile. I'm out this piece. And town down. Peace.